Welcome to another episode of Cwt TV. Get to know your hosts, Peter and Helen Yapel, as they are the New York State chapter coordinators of the Human Solution International, where we believe no one should go to jail for a plan. Peter and Helen are ministers, living the changes they wish to see in the world. Peter is a patient that learned the science behind the cannabis plant as he healed. Helen supported and cared for him by learning the medicinal values of foods, and now their allegiance is to the plant. Currently, they teach. They spread the knowledge that they've acquired through all social media, radio, and now through TV. So sit back and learn how to simplify and live a canna lifestyle.
Welcome to another episode of Cwt Talk, where we live the changes we wish to see in the world.
Yeah, guys, thanks for joining us here each week, where we entertain you, educate you, and try to teach you how to learn to live a canna lifestyle. It's going to be a good week this week. We got Larry Sharpe coming.
I know, I can't wait.
I was just so glad we got to talk to him outside.
I'm so happy to see him and know, just to get to know what he's doing, what his plans are.
Right. Larry's a Libertarian candidate that ran for governor here in New York this past year.
That should have won.
Just
saying.
In our own opinion. Well, he was the best candidate. Let's just put it that way. But Larry ran for governor against Mario Cuomo
and the liar won.
And the Republican that's last name began with an M, because that's about how as important as it is.
The liar won.
And either way, I wouldn't know Cuomo's name either. It has nothing to do with me being anti-Republican. I'm
Not at all.
Republican at one time in my life. Yeah.
It has to do with he's a liar.
Right.
He lied.
Right. And that'll be Pissed Off Pete tonight. So get ready for a little bashing on Mr. King Cuomo himself. But while Larry's, we're glad we got Larry here tonight. He's a stellar leader. We'll find out if he plans on running again. I'm sure I'm going to ask him that before the end of the night.
Yeah, I definitely want to ask him I want him to look over the Port Jervis project that Pete and I have been working on and get his input on it, and see what he thinks about what our thoughts are.
Well, I met him when he first came in. I just came and gave him a little brief overview of it. And, again, it's completely libertarian, this movement, without question.
We're just taking a different approach. We're not looking to government. We don't, we want to fix the community. We're not looking to do that by going to government. We want to start with the community, and then we'll work up to fixing government by fixing the community first.
Well, let's be realistic. It's
Everything
not the
will fall into
government's
place.
job to fix. It's just their job
Exactly.
to run the community. It's our job.
That's right.
To fix our community. It's our community. We live, breathe, play, exercise, enjoy, all of this in it. It's our responsibility to make the changes that we wish to see in the world every day. So the Port Jervis Project.
The Port Jervis Project. It's a project that we have formulated that myself, my husband, Cwt Talk, and our whole 501c3 organization, the Human Solution International, Solidarity Over Separation, which is our chapter here in New York State. And we've just formulated some thoughts and programs, put them down on paper, and we're looking to make the community strong again and teach people that there is a better way, and teach people how to get out of their own way and to be the best they can be.
Right.
It's about showing them how to make the changes that they're constantly complaining about in their own lives. So rather than have them continually sit in that rut and which is what we have today, everybody just is glued to their couch, their bed, their pharmaceuticals and their doctor appointment, that no one is really living any life at all.
So the Port Jervis Project, we took the time after years and years of Helen and I talking about going to and visiting as we crossed the country, because there were places we could see that modeled or mimicked the way of life that we felt where people could truly have life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Now, the pursuit of happiness is individual.
That's right.
Okay, it's an individual thing. So, that being said, This isn't a Stepford community.
No, and we're not looking to impose our own beliefs or thoughts or way of doing things onto anyone.
A Port Jervis project in general is a community-based project where the community is going to take back what they should have. I mean, they should be able to live the way they want. There are programs here too, though, folks. Don't get me wrong. We are sitting back and figuring out
Let's go here.
all of the different, all of the different ancillary services that are needed. But then when we put the list together, we found out a lot of them are here.
That's
right. They're here. They're in existence.
They're here, but people don't even know that they're here. And ones that do know that they're here are just not intrigued enough to come out. I had someone comment on a post today about the classes that we're putting on at Empowering Port Jervis. She was making a statement because it was an event that was put on by Empowering Port Jervis. Being that it was their event, she didn't read that it was an actual class that somebody else was having there. She was just simply looking at an event that Empowering Port Jervis was putting on, and her words were, "They are boring, and I'm not going." She just wasn't going to go because she thinks that they're boring, and there's nothing for adults to do without children. So these are just some of the complaints that are coming from the community.
Oh, there's
of
nothing
change.
for the LGBTQ community.
Oh yeah,
there's nothing for lots of people here.
Yes.
Now we've got plenty of buildings in this town that are abandoned and boarded and up for sale for community development.
That's for sure.
Which is a great program, but nobody has the money to do that either because then they have to fix the place. But there are lots of buildings here that we can bolster in a way. Like our building, our local Access 23 building. It's a beautiful mustard yellow. You can see it from Mars, and it's great. But it's not identifying. We have it written on the door. We used to have a sign. But why not paint a mural on this building? Let's paint a mural on this building that's classy, that has local artists that can contribute to it. Well, we will put together a plan. I've already talked to Kelly. I've left the Mayor Kelly Decker. I've left this message on his machine already that we're looking to do this. What permission do we need? Because it's his building.
It's his building.
We'll incorporate local artists, young and old. Why? Young and old can teach each other and learn from. Old people don't know everything, don't get me wrong, and young people don't know half what the old person knows.
But they're supposed, that's what's supposed to happen. That's what happens in the natural progression of life. We are supposed to learn and pass our wisdom. That's what we're supposed to do. So that's why we're saying old and young. But here's a list of some of the programs that we have come together. Pete and I have discussed and
spoke with the people of
Yes.
Port Jervis.
We're looking to do counseling coaching services, opiate counseling coaching services, relationship and individual. We're looking to do advocacy for medical and legal. We're looking to do temporary housing if we get the building for it. Education on health, academics, life, business, and CBDs. Court support, letter writing. Food, of course. Community activities, elderly and youth programs, job shadowing programs, LGBTQ activities and support, sustainable year-round community gardens, a community service program, mentoring program, safe spot program, so that there's that's a place designated for people that are needing.
All right, just any neighborhoods.
Community committees built from all 4 wards, north, south, east, and west.
Yeah, that's who will be in charge of
Yes, project committee will be comprised of government, private, and business.
Yeah. And
performing arts program, huge, and we have the building space. And the volunteers, believe me, we set things like this up. The volunteers will come in droves because of the positive change. They will.
But they're going to come anyway because you're doing it outside their front
Right.
door.
And now, mind you, this whole project will be a docuseries. We will document it every step of the way. Cwt TV will promote it.
With the support of the Human Solution
With the
International.
support of the Human Solution International, absolutely. So these are the programs
we're doing. Listen, if we can show other communities that this can be done or how it's done. We don't say we know it all. This is
Oh
our
my
first
God,
time run.
suggestions are
Please
always
help.
asked.
Please add your
Yes.
input. If you know something that your community
It's
lacks,
a lot of work,
that it could
man.
help, that could help this community or any community. Remember, folks.
We all know and we all can agree on change is a must. We can all agree on that. Change is an absolute must.
Well, what we also can agree on is the fact that everybody around is just afraid to change and they need
Well,
to.
and we can also agree on that the way we've been doing it just isn't working.
No.
We have to do something different.
Well,
and this is different.
Case in point. We'll have Larry Sharpe on later. And when Larry campaigned and we interviewed him earlier, Larry made the point of saying, I don't know what people think the governor does or how magical he is that he can know everything that there is to know about the position, be able to do it all, and still have time. That's why there's lobbyists, folks. That's why there are people that work in the best interest of a platform that's being run. But the platform has to be key, and the platform is what they have to run from.
Right.
They can't make up their own thing. They can't just switch and decide that, like Cuomo did. I'm not going to ruin it because that's Pete, pissed off Pete today.
Yeah, don't do that.
But we get in the news and cannabis news. The federal government, everybody's jumping up and down, up in arms that the federal government's doing so much cannabis, and everybody posts it. It was a 45 to 15 vote. The committee voted. It was a banking. It's for banking. It's for being. If you're in business
CBD
in cannabis,
banking.
you can't go to the bank, guys. It is a special. Because for some reason we need special rules for cannabis, collect money on it, and then they wonder why there's a black market.
I know.
Freaking idiots, my God. But anyway, they're
That's not idiots. They're just making.
No, they're idiots.
Yeah, but they're creating a situation where they can make more arrests to make more money. They're looking at it as revenue.
Are you really that sick?
And the majority of folks that have those medications are all started with back issues. Then they goes into mental health issues because of the back issues and the depression that's caused. It's just a cycle that needs to be broken. More and more people are waking up. Pete and I are one of them. I tell Pete all the time, my brain is still waking up from all of that pollution and crap that I gave myself for so many years.
But that's why this is
more
important.
of us need to wake up. We need to make the changes. Because when you do wake up, let me tell you, you're going to be pissed off.
At yourself. Yeah.
At yourself, and then you'll be pissed off at everything else around you, and you'll want the change. So let's wake up.
But the point of it all is now they are able, well, it's passed through the one committee, now it's got to go on, but we're starting to progress into the fact that we can actually bank with cannabis money. You can actually sell products and put them on. Now, I always sit back and wonder how hemp works.
Does it?
I always sit
How
back
do
and
they
wonder
do it?
how. I always sit back and wonder how the state of New York does it. The state of New York has their own medical program. They're the ones that supply the medicine.
What are they doing with their money? Maybe we need to ask.
I don't know.
Keurig.
Well, there's lots of stuff. There are answers you'll never get the answer to.
Of course.
But
we can imagine, can't we?
Well, listen, guys, that's what we got pretty much lined up for the show tonight. So when we come back, Larry Sharpe will be sitting right over there next to where Helen's sitting, and she'll move over here next to me, and we'll get the chance to interview one of my favorite people, let alone only politician I
I'm telling you,
truly
we're going
like.
to follow them right to the White House.
We will. I'll run down the road after that, dude. I'll plow a path. Get out of the way. He's coming. All right, guys, give us a couple seconds, and we'll be right back.
Well, welcome back, everybody, to Cannabis Talk. We have Larry Sharpe here with us.
I made it.
My favorite.
Absolutely. Like we
I tell everybody. I do.
Larry, thanks for coming back. It's always a pleasure to have you on the show.
course.
It's always a pleasure to just even have a conversation with you, let alone interview you.
Yeah, well, we talked about it during the campaign. I said I wasn't done, and I'm not done.
That's right.
And
That's it.
Then thank God for that.
Listen, that was one of those things. I never had a question about that, just because I kind of feel I know who you are. You
Yes.
know? And I knew that it wasn't going to be, hi, I'm here, and then you were going to disappear.
Yeah.
But what we appreciate and what we're finding
So
to
important.
be what others don't
is that you are keeping it going.
I
You're
am.
still doing your podcast. You're
Yes.
still doing your, your governor's, call, which is great, and we appreciate that.
Yeah. Well, the reality is, look, even if I'd won last year, I would still be having to work, right? It wouldn't have been, oh my God, Larry's governor, now magic. That wasn't going to happen, right? No matter what I did, I'd have to keep working. So now we have to work a bit harder. But we still have to move forward. We realize the state's still in trouble. There are a lot of people who are suffering, and the old ways aren't working.
No, they're not.
They aren't working.
We got to talk briefly just a few minutes ago about the project that everybody here is kind of aware of, the Port Jervis Project. Please
Port
start-
Jervis
That we're
Project,
doing, yes.
Amazing, amazing, amazing.
We kind of got Larry to look at it, and what do you think the ideas are viable and
Doable?
Attainable.
I think what's going to happen is that you're talking about something very difficult, a culture change.
Yes.
It
right?
is very difficult.
Is it possible? Of course. Will it be challenging? Yeah. But the best part about it is if you start locally and you begin even any change, the rest will begin to happen, right? There'll be a tipping
Right.
point to where you'll see one or two things start moving, then boom, the whole thing will happen.
Well, we're kind of trying to use it as a model for that. So
Absolutely.
That others
Right.
can look to.
Yes.
And again, is there going to be failures?
Always.
Right.
There's failures now.
Well, look, we
100%,
chose Port
yes.
Jervis for a couple different reasons. We chose it because, number one, it's a hub bordering on 3 states.
Yes.
And a hub for heroin,
heroin,
for all,
yes.
yeah. And it's where we shoot our TV show, so it's important to us.
You've made a very important point. People ask, why do you start locally, right? People ask, why am I doing this in New York? Your reason for doing it in Port Jervis is because it's hard.
Right.
We do hard things because if they're hard and we do them, then they're valuable.
That's
Right.
right.
And if you can do it in Port Jervis, you can do it anywhere.
Anywhere.
And
That's right.
it's the smallest city
Yes.
in the county, so what better? I mean, we first had eyes on Newburgh because, we live very close to Newburgh's very beat down. But that's something, after we do this and we have the backing and the people to go do it, we can.
We do this because it's hard, right? You want to do things because they're hard. If you complete the tough task, there's value in it. Everything
right.
we've ever done that we've been proud of or that's built something or that's had value has been hard, right? And you also do it because it's hard because other people won't do it.
Right.
But there's
Right.
nothing more gratifying.
Right.
Correct.
Either.
Yes, absolutely. I'm
Well, that's
so
what we
happy
want to
doing
teach
it.
the
Yes.
community.
Yes.
We want to teach you. Listen, I know from personal experience. When I was in the drug coffin, as I call it, the pharmaceutical bed, where I laid in my bed every single day, and that's what I did because that's all I thought I could do. And what was I going to really offer anybody? I was sick. I was hurt. I didn't know blah blah blah. And we get so
Caught in that rut.
overwhelmed by that depression
Most
and that
definitely.
cap, and
Yes.
like I say, I always call it the coffin because you're just dying.
Well,
when
the
you're
environment almost encourages a pity party.
Yes.
It encourages
Yes.
it.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. So if you can, but then again, you give people a purpose. If
Yes.
if they feel like they're important and they feel like they're doing something and contributing, they'll do it 10 times.
And they'll get up and voluntarily do it and do it better.
Right.
Do it happily, do it better, and help and encourage others.
Right.
Right. If you do something that's hard, the other thing that works is other people see it and go, "Oh, she did it. Maybe I can. Right?
Yeah.
She did it. Maybe I can
Yeah.
do it. In fact,
Right.
you know what? If you're open, let me ask you how you did it.
Right.
Right.
And maybe you'll even show me how
Right.
you did it, and then I can go do it too.
And that's the whole point
Yes.
that we were talking about to Michael Sussman about,
It's
is
a
just
mentoring.
getting people, teaching people how to step out of their own way.
Right.
They're in their own way.
Well, I have to go one step further in teaching. You can teach people all day. If they don't have the motivation to do it, it doesn't
Agreed.
matter.
Agreed.
Right.
And this is the point you were bringing up, right? You had to have a purpose.
Yes.
Right.
Right. When you have the purpose, you get out of the coffin.
Right.
If I just stood over your coffin and said, "Here's how to do stuff," you would have laid in the coffin and said, "That's nice," and that's it. But once I say, "Here's an opportunity," first off, here's some hope, right?
Right.
Second, here's some purpose. You add purpose and hope, we find a way.
Right. The only thing that we'll battle, as you said, is people's fear of change.
Yes.
Now,
Absolutely,
folks,
yes.
let me tell you something about change.
Change is so
a
good.
good thing.
So good.
But the reason why we are afraid of change as a society and as a human and as our species is that it's frightening.
Yep.
We're so comfortable even in the misery that we're
But
in.
you can't let fear
You're afraid that
run you.
next step might be more miserable. It's not. You're not going to make a step to a worse place. You're never going to make a decision, I think I'll take a step backwards. You're going to make a step to do something better for yourself and again, when you do better for you do better for your neighbor.
Right.
There's an issue with fear that we should think about, right? Most people think that just get rid of fear. Fear is bad. Fear isn't by default bad, right? Fear can be good. The issue is you shouldn't decide from fear.
Right.
Fear should be a sign for you to start thinking.
That's right.
Right? I'm afraid. Okay, I'm afraid. I'm worried. Good. Now start thinking.
Right.
Make your decision from the thinking that came from the fear.
Right.
We often skip that middle part.
Yes.
And go right from fear to decision.
Right.
And if we should recognize our fear.
Yes. You
have
Right?
to
It's
grocery
scary.
Yes.
Wait a minute. This what you're telling me to do is different.
Recognized, respected,
Yep.
absolutely.
So now let me think this through and see, should I still move past my fear? And when you start thinking, you find very often you move past your
That's
fear.
right.
It's when
That's
you
right.
stop thinking that you don't. Absolutely.
Well put.
And
Very
listen,
well put.
This project couldn't be more libertarian. It truly couldn't. It
That's for
involves
sure.
every person in the world, because if you're in the community, you're part of the community.
Yes.
I know one thing that Larry spoke about during his run, and that we find, Hal and I always both admired, was he knew he had a job and he had his job to do, but he always said, I can't do my job without you.
Yes.
Right.
So
Absolutely. Yes. That's correct. Yes.
So that's what we're kind of trying to do. Is just
Yes.
get everybody to do.
Yes. And you don't
just-
find that. You
right.
find leaders saying, I will fix everything.
Yep.
I will make the world awesome. I'm not going to make the world awesome. What I'm going to do is I'm going to allow you to make the world
Right.
awesome.
Well, that's how
and
it
not
should
just
be.
that.
Yep.
My definition of awesome probably isn't your definition of awesome or anyone else's definition of awesome. We have to have our own definitions. The goal, as you've heard me say 1,000 times, the country was built on the idea of life, liberty, pursuit of happiness.
Right. Absolutely.
And that means your individual happiness.
Right.
What makes one person happy doesn't make the other happy, and that's totally fine.
And I love that, because
Yes.
we made point of that during our presentation,
Yes.
to say, I'm not talking about a Stepford community.
Yeah,
That's not
exactly.
what I'm talking
Yes,
about.
exactly
I
right.
want
Yes.
that individual to live the best individual he can,
Yes.
as long as he doesn't hurt that individual, so he can live the best, or she, or whatever.
Right.
Absolutely, yes.
And that does work. And,
Yes.
And I'll tell you, I know, I believe that if people see people out cleaning the streets,
Yep.
They'll do it.
Gardening in
Look,
community
we know
gardens,
that
you know.
for sure. We did it in our own community. Our backyard is the community park. We go out there and we're cleaning up, we're picking up, and then what do you see? That first we get our hands shook by the municipality workers.
Yep.
Then the next day, who's out there?
There's an old man with a cane
Yep.
picking up bottles.
Absolutely.
You know, I don't
It
say
just-
go pick the
they'll-
bottles up and collect 5
right,
cents. You're
because
cleaning, you're doing
someone
something.
saw us
Yes.
out there doing it and went,
Yes, and you gave that guy with a cane a
Yes.
purpose. You gave him a
Yes.
reason to take a walk today.
Yep.
That's
He
right.
was probably going to watch Maury that morning.
You know what?
And he said, you know
That's
what?
right.
I'm not going to watch Maury.
But you know, when that
I'm going
municipality
to go out
worker-
and I'm going to go pick something up.
right.
Yes.
But you know, when that municipality worker thanked me,
He every time he sees us.
I said to him, I
Hey,
said, let me tell you something. I've been here since 1974 and I raised 9 kids here.
Wow.
So I know what they've done in this park.
Absolutely.
I'm just giving back.
Yeah, I felt kind of bad
That's
for him
all.
because
So thanks for the thank you, but it's not necessary.
I felt bad for him because he felt bad, like, oh gosh, do they think I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing? That's
Right.
kind of like how he.
Yes.
No, yeah,
because
he was a
before
young
he said
kid,
thank you,
too.
it was, listen, we really just have so much to do, and we appreciate what you did. You know.
Yes.
And that's good. Well,
Of
thank
course,
you. You know,
yeah.
I'll work with my guy.
That's another aspect of fear, right? Another thing is, if I'm a government worker and you start doing work that I'm supposed to be doing, that's a worry I have, of course.
Of course.
So as you said, the whole idea of this project isn't to replace it, it's to supplement it.
Right.
And that's a critical aspect that the actual government worker has to realize. This is not to replace, this is to help out. This is to supplement.
That's why we call
Both
it
can
a
still
hand
exist.
up,
Right.
Not a hand out.
Right, hand up.
It's a hand up program. That's how
Absolutely.
it's presented. Because we just
100%.
give you a hand up. Come on. Join us.
Absolutely. Yes.
Yeah. Hey, listen, I got to say, you really have stirred a tremendous amount of interest in the Libertarian Party.
Sure.
I have to say that.
Sure.
What I want to tell people is this. First and foremost, I don't care if you're Libertarian, I don't care if you're Republican, I don't care if you're a Communist. It doesn't bother me. That means nothing to me. Elect good leaders.
Yep.
Elect
Yes.
good leaders. It
Elect
doesn't
people
matter-
with integrity.
Right. It doesn't matter if they're Republican and you're Republican or Democrat. Please stop doing that. We are never going to grow as a society. This is what this Project Port Jervis is about. It's about the community taking
right.
back control. Now, Larry, when Larry was running and we interviewed him, He said, yeah, I need lobbyists, I need people. If you think one man can do all of those jobs and be an expert in all of the jobs it takes to run a state,
Yes.
you're absolutely wrong.
Well, look, if you're a
the
Democrat or
community has to
Republican,
be strong.
if you're a Democrat or Republican, you don't want to be a Libertarian, no worries. You should still want a strong Libertarian
Right.
Party. Because here's what happens now. If you're a Democrat and you go to your politician and go, hey, politician, I want you to change things. Your Democratic politician just says, I'm not a Republican, see, I'll save you. That's all they say. They don't actually do anything. They're just not the other guy
Right.
or not the other gal.
Right.
So, look, Democrats are supposed to be about civil liberties. They're not.
No.
Republicans are supposed to be about smaller government and less taxes.
And
they're not.
Right.
But when you have a strong Libertarian Party, the Libertarian Party then will hold both of them account. Why? Because if right now, if you want small government, the Republican Party has nothing for you, but neither does the Democrat Party.
Right.
But if you have a Libertarian Party, you might go Libertarian, which means Republican Party must be better. Same Democrats, you want civil liberties, you want civil freedoms, right? Democratic Party is supposed to be about that. It's not. With a good Libertarian Party, it must, or people will go Libertarian.
Right.
So by default, if you have a strong Libertarian Party, you will have those better Democrats, those better Republicans. That will begin to happen anyway. So a strong third party takes away that black and white, clear, oh, it's evil or it's good, and it makes everybody have to be better.
Excellent. Hey, listen, we're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, we're going to finish our conversation up with Larry. I'm sure he's got a lot more to say, and we're going to actually give him the floor kind of a bit when he comes back, because, listen, this man always has an incredible message to send. We'll be right back, guys. Hey, everybody, Pete Yapel, Willow Creek Springs products. Hey, listen, guys, these are the greatest products in the world, as you hear us say every week. Again, organic, seed to seal, food-grade organic. You can eat every product, including our salves. Not that I would suggest you do, but hey, if you're heat sensitive, that's fine. We've got a cooling. If you're cool sensitive, that's fine. We've got a heat. But all of these will penetrate into you. All of these products are available with CBDs, will take down inflammation in any of the cells in your body. Remember, that endocannabinoid system is waiting for you to ingest in any way, shape, or form a cannabinoid. Ingest it, whether it be by mouth, by smoking, whether if you're a dabber or you're a smoker, or topically. We have to attack our issues at many different angles. Anyway, because we all metabolize cannabis in a different way. So when you're home and your muscles are aching, or you're just tired at the end of the day and need those muscles to be repaired, please spend a couple seconds, rub this on, penetrate it in, and within minutes you'll have relief. Again, everybody, Pete Yates from Willow Creek Springs.
Welcome back, everybody.
Hey, everybody. Again, we've got Larry Sharpe. He ran for governor last term and the Libertarian Party, as you know, because we've, had the pleasure of interviewing him a few times on the radio. We had him on the TV show when NBC followed him here, which was a big thing for us.
Yep.
We were glad and happy that
I'm going to follow him right to the White House.
Yeah. Oh, believe me, if a man deserves to be in the White House, this man deserves
That's
to be.
for sure.
I promise you, I will drop the mic right now if he's going to run for president. And I'm starting to run across America with this shirt on, and I'm going to cross out governor of New York and just go president. And I mean that. And y'all know if I say that,
That's
I do
right.
mean that.
I
do.
appreciate it tremendously.
I don't, and he knows I hate politicians.
That was one of the first things you told me when we met. That was one of the first things you said. Yes, absolutely, yes.
But hey, listen, no, just in general, I don't appreciate what most politicians do.
Yeah.
And what most politicians do is what the king did when he said that he was going to, when he jumped on the bandwagon with Larry and everybody else that was on the trail, when they said they were going to decriminalize. Now this lying liar will not, believe me, this is part of Pissed Off Pete.
Yeah, don't
guys,
get
you're
too
not
pissed
going to
off
want to
now.
miss this segment. I promise you. But he lied. He's now saying if I grow cannabis at home, it's tax evasion. I mean, I grow tomatoes at home, Larry. Am I breaking the law?
You know what I said? Regulate like onions.
No, but am I
That's
breaking
what
the
I
law?
said. But I guess so. I guess so. For some reason, that plant, the cannabis plant, for some reason has been deemed to be evil. I don't know why that plant is the easiest
Well,
plant to plant.
because it slows the aging process and it promotes homeostasis, and homeostasis
Stops
equals
oxygen-free
good.
radicals from rising in your body.
Homeostasis equals good health. It's
won't die.
just that simple. So that's why.
There we go.
Well, three generations, removing cannabis from 3 generations of people, and you do not see the difference in health, normal everyday health from the time a child's born, how they grow up. They can't even have children, most of them anymore. Most girls are anti-cystic.
They have polycystic
Cystic
ovarian
yeah,
syndrome, which they don't get their period, they
Right.
don't ovulate,
And
they're
this is
not
from the
able to
food. This is from
procreate.
what we've done to them.
That's right.
But again,
That's right.
We take a plant that corrects all that. Out of 3 generations, us as a species needs to adapt. So when you have an ECS, endocannabinoid system, which means you have an androgynous cannabinoid system that depends on cannabinoids,
That's
which
right.
is in every cell of your body, the only regulatory
Yep.
system that covers every
Every
cell of
cell.
your body. And the plant's illegal. And we've removed it from the earth.
That's
and
genocide.
and the air and the cleaning water and people. What any other species do? They would try to change and adapt. But you can't.
It's a good question. You know, the problem that we have is this wasn't a natural phenomenon, right? If it was a natural, like,
Yeah.
if cannabis started to die out,
Right.
or something like that, it was a
And then we
natural,
all didn't have it. Right.
then we would probably be able to adapt appropriately if that was a natural way of things happening. But this is just a, no.
Yep.
It's a different way of,
completely
it's not natural,
Right.
Yeah.
Well, when that happened, I mean, and then Monsanto comes in all his glory, and you know how I feel about that. I don't like it. It's all the antibiotics, all the steroids, and of course it's going to change.
Yeah, of course it's going to affect the human.
It's going to
physiology.
affect. Of course it is. I mean, it
That's
has
just
to.
without
It's
saying. And there isn't a doctor
it's
I've
common
proposed that
sense.
to that has ever looked at me like I've had 3 eyes.
Yeah, but here's the issue to remember in general, right? All of this shouldn't be happening because one all-knowing, all-powerful king shouldn't be decrying these
That's right.
things.
No.
That's
right? If an individual decides, I don't want this in my diet or I don't want this in my life, that's your choice.
That's
You
right.
can do that. But why should anyone start saying, no, you may not have this substance in your life? And next, why is possession of any substance? Why is a possession of a substance against the law? If people always say, but Larry, don't you want to punish criminals? If you steal to get cannabis, that's a crime.
Right.
Go to jail for stealing. But guess
Right.
what? If you steal to get anything,
Go to jail.
it's a crime. I don't care
you
what it
stole
is.
What it is.
Just don't steal stuff.
Where there's a
right?
victim, there's a
Period.
crime.
That's
Where there's
correct.
no victim, there is no crime.
That's right. If I want to put a substance in my body, I'm not hurting anyone else, I'm not taking your property or hurting you,
Right.
why should anybody care? And what would have happened is we would have seen the health naturally within the people, seen what was working and what wasn't working, and we would have by default as a culture made the shifts. Right? If cannabis was really that horrible plant that everyone says it was, if it was, we would have seen it and we would have voluntarily stopped using it.
Right.
We're not snorting arsenic.
No,
Right?
Sure. Or even taking an opiate.
That's for
Yes.
sure.
Or an antidepressant.
We wouldn't be taking opioids right now the way we're taking them now, right?
Right.
There's
Well,
no
no,
way.
you would take them for 3 days after an operation. That would be it. But
Yes.
we wrote that law in 2001
There we
because
go.
they wanted a long term written on the little package inside.
Yeah, the one that
Absolutely.
everybody throws
Illegally
out.
Done, again, illegally done by our DEA and our FDA. Never any proof that it can now be a long. Because when they did the studies in '68, they said you can't take this. This will kill you. It literally says it. It will kill you. Your life could end. And yet we now can, because doctors and pharma want to take and keep us down, keep us where we're not.
I got to
Right.
be clear on this piece also, right? We look at it. When you start attacking the FDA, the average person gets afraid. The average person says, oh, no FDA, now we're all going to die. And here's the example I always give them. And it's very simple, actually. Health food stores. Any health food store, any supplement store, any of those. They're not regulated by the FDA.
Right.
Maybe at a high end, 1% of their products is regulated by the FDA. At the high end.
Right.
Usually almost none are regulated
because
by the
they
FDA.
choose to carry those stuff.
Yes, correct. They make a choice. Now, what happens? Does that mean there's no standards? Of course there are standards. There are standards which are local standards, industry, right? There are standards everywhere. There's still standards, right? No matter what. The issue is, does the FDA bless it or not? The FDA does not bless those supplements. Let me ask you, where are all the deaths from health food stores?
They're not.
There are.
None. In fact, the healthiest people you know shop at a health food store.
Yep.
You can guarantee that's true. The healthiest people you know shop at a health food store.
That's right.
Right? So there's no deaths. But how many deaths and how much dismay and destruction from the FDA?
Absolutely.
Millions.
Every
The
day.
FDA has killed and maimed millions of
Four out of 5
Americans.
people you look at.
have been maimed, or killed or maimed. Everyone knows someone. How do we know this? Watch TV during the day. Every other commercial is, have you been injured by this drug? Have you been injured by this drug? But we've created an environment to where there's literally a segment of lawyers. Their job is to shake down insurance companies. That's their job.
That's it. Yep.
Their job is to shake down insurance companies. You think they want to stop this?
No.
That's how they're sending their
That's
kids to
their
college.
livelihood.
How
They're sending their kids to college on this.
This is the part. That's the part that bothers me probably most about anything is when people look and go, "Oh, really? You've got cannabinoids? What kind of products you got? Oh, I got this. I got that. What's in them? When's the last time you asked what was in a baby aspirin? When's
Nothing.
the time about a regular aspirin?
Exactly.
What's in a baby aspirin? You
Nothing.
never asked that.
No
pharmacist.
idea.
No one ever
I'm
does.
just
said
going
this.
to give you a
Yeah.
plant. You go, oh my God, what's in that?
But not just that. I love them. This is the argument they give about the FDA. Well, if it's not the FDA, I won't know what process they use. You don't know what process the FDA uses.
Right,
You have no idea.
Are you a scientist? Are
You have
sitting there in
no
the
clue
lab?
what the FDA does. So stop acting like you were going to check it out and do homework. You weren't doing that.
Oh God, no.
You know,
God,
you
no.
weren't at all.
I
So,
know,
look, you just look at...
mentioned those
Yes.
commercials about suing.
Yes.
What's the next commercial? Try this, med.
That's correct. Yes, with a list of horrible
That'll
side
always
effects.
include death, heart attack, and
Always
stroke.
have, and here's the best part about this. Now the newer drugs, if you've seen these, those are drugs for the side effects of the
Of the other
first
drugs. I
That
can't even
blows
believe
my
it, I
mind. Like, I thought that was a joke when I first saw that. I thought it was like, oh, this was a Saturday Night Live. This has got to be a joke. This isn't a real commercial. But it's a real commercial.
There was something I used to think was a joke was when it used to say, well, tell your doctor about it. Well, hold on a second. It's not a joke because your doctor don't know nothing anyway. He's being told by the pharmaceutical company what to give you.
but-
So if he forgot to mention it, hey, I watch TV. Guess
Yes.
what?
That's bad on so many levels,
I know
right?
it
The
is.
first thing is, why am I telling my doctor what I want?
Yeah.
My doctor
Shouldn't a
would
doctor kind
Tell
of
me.
know what's going on? Isn't that why I go to the doctor? Because she knows what she's doing?
The copay
That she
and all.
probably has a clue of what's going on, I would assume.
Look, I know
Maybe
for
not.
myself, I go to the doctor specifically for testing. I
Yes.
look right at them, I tell them this is the test that I would like to have, and then once it's
look,
done,
to be
if
forward,
you're going to be
doctors
part of the
are
remedy,
very
then
good
that's
at
it.
diagnosing.
Yeah.
That's their skill set. They're very good at diagnosing, here is a problem.
Right.
Here is they're very good at that. Healing always not so awesome,
Right.
and preventative is almost non-existent, right? You do find some doctors, particularly nowadays, more doctors are moving towards preventative,
Right.
but it's still a small percentage.
Right.
The vast majority of things that doctors do very well is, I don't know what's happening with my body, doctor, tell me what's happening. This is what's happening. How do you heal it? It's always one of two things: procedure
Or medicine.
or prescription.
Yeah, of
Right.
course.
And it's because that's how they get
Yeah.
paid.
That's it.
They get paid by insurance companies
Right.
and or Medicaid, Medicare. That's how they get paid.
Right.
So the answer is always how they're incentivized.
Right.
Right? If you change how the healthcare system works, if they're not incentivized that way, that'll stop being the answer every time. But right now the answer is always procedure or prescription. So you're as an educated consumer, which I hate to say that for medicine, but it is, you have to actually decide. Thank you for your diagnosis, doctor,
Right,
because
exactly.
the odds are it's true.
Right.
They're usually good at that.
Yeah, they pretty
right?
tell you what's wrong with you.
That's correct. They're usually very good at that. And like testing, very good at that.
Yeah.
Do I want their answer?
Or
That's-
their remedy.
That's not always the
Yeah.
right thing, right? That's what we have to be more educated in that.
Absolutely. Look, our body is our survival tool for our soul.
Right.
I mean, come on. Can anybody argue with me?
You gotta
so
change oil
you
in your
want
car, you gotta put
you
gas
want
in
your
it, yeah.
tool to be sharp? You want it to bring you to
sucker.
the end? Then take care of it. It's really that simple. Everybody keeps asking me, how did you quit smoking? I had a heart attack. It's kind of how I did it.
That's how
I got
you
a
do
little
it.
pissed off at myself
Yep.
for allowing that to happen,
There
and
we
I
go.
quit.
There we
And
go.
then I quit meat, and then I quit dairy. I just quit bad things.
Right. But listen,
It's simple.
We could go around about doctors for 6 years.
Oh, yeah.
Really true. And how screwed up and convoluted this system is. I want to know how your daughter is.
Yeah, how's
Oh,
your daughter?
thank
How's
you.
Barbara?
Thank you. Yes. It's been, the campaign itself, as I look back at it now, it was brutal. I mean, it was a year and a half of me taking off from my life, and I went without a paycheck for a year and a half.
Yeah.
I'm a consultant. If I'm not
Yeah.
in front of people, then I'm not
Yeah.
making money. I took a year and a half off, and you can imagine if you took a year and a half off and had no salary, how your
Right,
finances
how-
would be.
yeah,
They would
yeah.
not be great, obviously. But also away from my family. So, and now we're rocking and rolling. We're trying to get back in action. And it takes time, it takes energy, but we have to do it. I'm glad it happened. To make some people who supported me feel warm and fuzzy, some to remember, we actually did a whole lot better than the numbers said. If you look, and we're finding a lot of discrepancies now, there are a bunch of places where we had a lot of voided votes.
Really?
On the ballot where I was, we had Stephanie Miner and myself on the same line. Many people didn't realize that she was not my lieutenant governor. They thought she was, and they circled both. That's a voided vote or a blank. And in certain districts, there were 40% blanks, voids. Now, you can't tell me that 40% of people go to the election and don't vote for the governor. That's why you showed up, was to make the governor vote. So there are a massive amount of votes that weren't collected. Plus, I was the only one on the second column. Many people didn't even see me on the ballot. And some of the machines couldn't read the second column.
You know what we should do? We should do
So there were a bunch of votes that weren't accounted. The odds are...
That's not purposely done.
No.
Well, no, look, the reality of it is, to be forward, I'm not going crazy on this because there weren't enough for me to win, right? So I didn't win the election,
made a
right?
difference, yeah.
But the difference is it would have shown the people who got behind me and supported me the impact that we actually
had.
made.
Yeah.
We had a lot of impact. We made a lot of impact completely. Just today, I'm in Warwick, and a police officer stops me in the middle of the street. Middle of the street stops me. Hey, you Larry Sharpe? Yeah, how you doing? Hey, I saw you. How you doing, man? Love with your campaign. Selfie with the cop.
Yep.
Shaking hands.
Yep.
Last week, I'm in Astoria, Queens. Van pulls up next to me. I'm walking on the street. Van pulls up next to me. 4 guys. Hey, Larry Sharpe, saw you on Joe Rogan. How you doing? I'm shaking hands inside. This is every week someone's recognizing me, picking up. We had a whole lot more impact than the votes showed, and that's why I bring that up. And that helps motivate me, too. I want to keep going because of that.
You have
I think
to.
that
People
I think
know it,
honestly,
and we keep
truly,
going.
You
us
have
as- because
to.
we're starting
We
an Orange
need
County.
you.
Yeah, we're starting an Orange County chapter for Libertarians, as we told you when you came in. And I think that we as individuals and we as people now, if we start this chapter, it's our responsibility to teach people how
Yes.
to ballot,
Yes.
teach them how to vote,
Yes.
teach them, because then those mistakes don't get made.
happen.
Because you gotta remember, a lot of people that voted for Larry probably never voted before or hadn't
True.
voted in
Yes.
20 years because they really didn't care who was. Because they had no, you know, but then
Well,
they
it's
went out
that
and
purpose
made the
thing we talked
choice.
about.
Yes.
It was the purpose.
Yes.
I gave
Yes.
them a
Yep.
purpose.
Yes. Yes.
That's right.
Get out there and do it.
Yep.
There could be some
Look, I
change.
brought
We
my
saw it.
daughter to the comedy club to see you, and
Yes.
she voted for the first time.
Yeah,
right,
yeah.
yes.
Voted for the first time.
You know?
She's 32
She
years
32
old.
years old. She had no
Voted
interest in
for governor
politics
for
at
the first
all.
time.
Voted
Yes.
for governor
Because
for
she
the
was
first time.
impressed,
Yeah.
because she believed him.
Exactly. Because
Yes.
of the way you spoke, because of the things you said, she got it.
Well, what I'll say about Larry is Larry don't make promises. The only promises he makes is that he'll keep the word he said. He'll
Yes.
work with you to try to accomplish whatever it is,
Absolutely.
if it is good for the community and the state of New York. And unfortunately, we have a guy in there that doesn't care about anything. We've now just learned that Andrew got a raise.
Yes, that's right.
I guess a bridge
because
wasn't
he's
enough.
doing such a great job. I mean, of course. It's
Well,
a
he tells
wonderful job.
really good lies.
Of course.
So-
He got a
Yes.
bridge. Now he needs a raise. You know.
Yeah, come on.
What else is he going to need?
Yeah, I mean,
I know he needs
yes.
CBDs for his wife because she is suffering with cancer. We'd love to help her, and if he has any,
To reach out.
please reach
Oh,
out to us. 'cause
there's
we
no.
care for
Oh, let's be
everyone.
clear. There's no doubt that his wife gets whatever she needs.
Oh, I'm sure.
There's no doubt.
I'm sure.
Illegal or legal or
I'm
whatever.
sure.
I am sure.
I don't have no problem with that.
He gets whatever.
I have
whatever she
no
needs.
problem
Yes.
with people treating with cannabis on an illegal fashion because truly, it's the only way you can really viably do it right now. Because if you rely on going to
Look,
the
I'm not going
entities
to
that
allow
have it,
somebody to
you're
put
being discriminated.
a price tag on my life.
No,
If I
not
was
at
sick
all.
with cancer, I'm going to go
Well,
and find my full extract cannabis oil, and I'm going to take my 60 grams in 90 days, and I'm going to beat my cancer.
What I
And
always
that's
say
it.
is, what I always say is, there's a difference between moral choice
That's
and,
right.
and law.
Yes.
And if something is morally absolutely correct, I don't care what the law says.
That's right.
We have a problem with that, and I've told this story before, and I'll be real fast in this story. I was talking to an IP, intellectual property attorney, and she was telling me something about how intellectual property worked. It was something like, I'm making this number up. You know, it's 75 years after the death of the author, and I thought, wow, that's long. That seems wrong. It's really, I mean, the guy's dead for 75 years and still no one can use it? That's a bad law. She goes, no, but Larry, it's the law. I said, no, I get that it's a law.
It's a bad
I
law.
just think it's a bad
Right.
law, right? It's my opinion.
Yeah.
Someone else may agree. My opinion,
Right.
bad law.
Right.
She goes, well, Larry, it's international law. See, we changed our laws to match international law. Great, that's bad international
I
law.
don't care where you are. It's a
And
bad law.
she was mad at me, angry at me. Now, she didn't make the law. She didn't sponsor the law.
Why is she so mad?
She's mad because in her eyes, law
Is
equals righteous.
Ah.
They are the same in her eyes. So the fact that I'd be against the law meant that I was a heretic.
How does somebody get that way, though?
That's common. It's a problem that happens often. He broke the law, and that's like the, but so what? Here's the worst part.
Where's the moral
All
compass?
of our heroes, outlaws, Martin Luther King Jr., Gandhi, our founding fathers,
Yes.
Robin Hood,
Yeah.
every single person we go, yeah, when we watch Star Wars and watch the rebels fight,
killing people.
they're all outlaws, right? And all of our heroes are outlaws, but somehow we decided that, oh, it's against the law, and now it's all of a sudden horrible. No,
Again,
your
that's-
point's
that's-
right. Is
that's
it
your
righteous?
thing.
Is it moral or not?
That's right. But that's you made the perfect point too. That's where the fear of change comes. And
Yes.
Right.
why are somebody considered an outlaw? Because he finally isn't afraid.
Yes, absolutely, yes. He said, you know what? I got to make a change.
That's
She
it.
said, you know what? I got to make a change. Think about the women who were fighting for the right to vote. You go back 100 years ago, 110 years ago, give or take. No, now was it 102 years ago, give or take?
yeah.
And women couldn't vote. And there were women, literally, there were police officers who were hitting women over the head with a club to put them in the back of a wagon because they dared try to vote.
Right.
Those women were heroes,
Wow.
and they were outlaws.
Wow.
They were both outlaws
Rosa
and
Parks
heroes.
dared to sit. I mean,
Yes,
Right.
Dared to
come
sit.
on.
Yes, absolutely. Come on,
and-
outlaw.
I know.
And
Yes.
from Empowering Port Jervis had asked me, like, why are you guys doing this? Why do you do this? Why?
Because we
And I
do
said,
it
you
for
know
nothing."
what? Yeah, I'm tired of living around all this dysfunction.
Yes.
I'm personally tired of it.
And waiting for someone to match to make it
Yes.
better. Yes.
And again, like you said, when we were at Empowering the other day, I just happened to go outside and have a cigarette. I know, bad habit, guys. Went outside to have a cigarette, but somebody walked by and said, "Pastor Pete, so glad you're here. I'm glad you came
Saw
after
him
that
from the
meeting. You
meeting.
didn't just talk at a meeting and run
Yes.
away."
Important.
You know, and I said, "Of course, I'm right here at Empowering. You guys can stop
Yes.
here, anytime during the week."
And every other candidate who loses goes away.
Right.
Yeah.
They go, oh, I didn't win.
Yeah,
They go
and you
away.
didn't.
Right.
No.
I said I wasn't gonna,
Nope.
and I'm not. I'm still here.
Nope.
Right.
I'm still here.
Well, Larry, I want to give
Yes.
you a few minutes right now just to give your idea of where the Libertarian Party is right now and what your goals
are,
and
what you're doing.
future shows.
Yeah, 100%. Look, the reality of it is the party is growing now. We need more people to step up and register Libertarian. If you can register Libertarian, it's helpful for us because the more who register, the more power we have. The more people who will pay attention, the more press we will get, the more afraid Democrats, Republicans will become, so they'll be better themselves. So registration is important. Enroll as a Libertarian to the best of your ability as soon as you possibly can. That's the number one thing. The second thing, if you can help the cause, donate, join, whatever the case may be, right? Show up.
Right.
I can't tell you how important showing up
it
is.
is so
Right?
important,
Larry,
people.
I don't have money. Larry, I can't, I can't run. Awesome. Do you have a car and or two legs?
Yeah.
If you got two legs that work and or a car or someone who can bring you in a wheelchair or
Right.
drive you in their car,
Right.
any of those, can you show up when there's an
Right.
event?
That's right.
When we have something going on, be there. It's what we talked about. When we see others, we go, wow, this is real. Show up to events. If some guy or gal is doing something, show up
Show
to the
up.
best of your ability. It's
Yeah.
really important. And of course, if you want to come to my website, LarrySharpe.com. I'm doing tons of stuff. My Facebook page, Larry Sharpe, Libertarian. Check my events. I'm doing all types of things. Come and support me. I'm going around the state. I'm all around the state every month. Still come by, say hi, shake my hand, wave at me, whatever. Go on, be my Facebook warriors,
Yes.
right? Share on Twitter, share on Facebook, YouTube. All those things are important. The party itself is growing tremendously. Since last time they checked, which was, I think was November, they made another check again in February. We had gone up 10,000 people.
Awesome.
Fantastic.
Beautiful.
10,000.
Bravo.
Yes. So we are already on our way. Our goal is 100,000 by the end of the year. That's our goal. We do that, oh my God, we're rocking and rolling. We've got people running. People are asking me if I'm going to run again in 2022. Odds are high, but I can't promise because someone else also might show up too.
Right.
And my goal is a better New York, not me winning.
I get that.
So if there's someone better who shows up, I'm happy to step down and support that person. If not, odds are high that I'll run, but I don't want to promise it because I may not. The odds are high. I'm trying my best to keep my name up. I'm starting a new show coming up here. It's going to be called The Sharp Way. It's going to be a podcast / radio show.
Awesome.
Oh, love it.
It'll be out there also. People can call in. We'll talk. So
Okay.
we'll make that happen and get the word out. And we'll hope to raise money, and we'll hope to raise awareness, and keep this state moving forward.
Excellent, Larry.
Awesome.
It's always a pleasure to have you on the show. We do appreciate anything the Libertarian Party can offer Project Port Jervis.
Sure.
And
We're on board.
stand
Is there
behind, at least, or
anything
stand
that
alongside
Can We
us.
Talk or Solidarity Over Separation can do for you?
for you?
Yes, join events.
No, absolutely.
That's the answer.
You know
Joint
me,
events.
brother.
Get
I
people
try
to
get
show
them
up.
all.
We'll all come together. We'll raise money together. We'll make good things happen together. Joint events are the big thing. Yes.
Excellent. We'll try to do at least one piece a month where it's basically strictly just libertarian.
I love the idea.
You know, I'm just saying, if we do a 10-minute piece a month, because we only do 4 shows a month, so
Perfect.
If we do 10 minutes in a month, I think that would be help.
I
to
love
impact,
that.
you know.
Absolutely
Yeah,
great.
that's a good
Yes,
idea.
100%. Yes.
Excellent.
Great.
Again, everybody.
Thank you, guys.
Larry Sharpe,
you.
Libertarian candidate for governor last time. Larry, again, says he don't know the next time, but
Get
if I
out
got
there and
anything to say about it,
register
I'll be there pushing it.
Libertarian.
Yes, please do. And Elise will put up all the information
Yes.
across the screen so you guys will know right where you have to go to either register to vote or change your party. Okay, guys, we're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back.
Welcome back, everybody. I hope you enjoyed talking to Larry as much as I did. I love when he comes. I really do. He's just he has a way of putting things that just hit you.
What I like about Larry
resonate,
Sharpe is
and
Larry Sharpe is
that's
you,
important.
me, Dino, I mean, the guy down the street mowing his lawn. He is every one of us.
That's right.
He truly is.
That's
He's
right.
not a politician. He's just a guy.
He's just a guy.
And that has some great ideas.
Yep.
And a great way to run the state. And it's always a pleasure. Elise will put up his stuff. Please, guys, go out and register Libertarian if you're not registered at all.
Register, please.
Or take a good look at how you're registered. Honestly. Or take a look at yourself. Do you vote only Republican just because that's all you know?
Make those changes. For those of you who have never voted or who are just not in a party, make those changes. Start there. Register to vote. Go out and vote. Participate. And that'll give you some purpose to make some changes.
I'm sorry about that. I just had a burp fly up. That's what pizza does to you. I did not mean for that to happen. But it came out.
Sorry, Elise.
Yeah, well, she'll never be able to get that burp out. It was in mid-sentence.
She'll
Okay,
figure it
guys.
out.
Hey, listen, it's always great to have Larry on here. Elise has put up on the interview with him how to register if you haven't. Again, we're going to open up our Orange County chapter for the Libertarian Party. Please join us. Please bring your ideas. Please bring your support.
And please, every Monday night, come down to 16 Franklin Street in Port Jervis and be a part of our live studio audience. We live the changes we wish to see in the world, and we want to know what changes you want to see in the world. So please come down, hang out with us, tell us about it. Maybe you'll get a little spot on the show.
That's right.
You never know.
Yeah,
Bring
listen,
your talent with you.
You're always welcome down here. Even if you don't, bring your kids. If your kids want to see how a TV show is made. Before we go away, though, we want to say, okay, well, I'm going to go do my Pissed Off Pete, and then we're going to sign off for the night anyway. So that'll be the last thing you see tonight. Maybe if we got a couple minutes, I can get Elise to put a couple more Mastock things up.
We'll see.
Just because it's getting to be that time of the year, guys, and we're really starting to get excited about the music.
Yeah, we got to promote it.
Absolutely. Well, until next week, what do you think, babe?
I think that we all need to live the changes we wish to see in the world.
That's right,
Until
guys.
next
And
time.
come back next week, like we say. We'll keep trying to entertain you. We'll keep bringing you some great guests. We'll educate you, but come on down and join us so we can teach you how to live a Cano lifestyle. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Pissed Off Pete. And this week is a personal one for me. Very personal. I'm speaking about our just wonderful governor, King Mario Cuomo Jr. His name is Andrew, but what's the difference? It's all just a bunch of crap. We've got bridges named after these fools, and they don't do a thing. Well, here's why I'm mad at little Mr. Andrew. Andrew, I've been a leader in the cannabis community for years, well respected. I've spoken at this, let's be realistic. I've spoken at the United Nations. I asked for a meeting with you, just to have a talk, so that we could share ideas, see where you stand politically as far as cannabis, whether you were going to backstep as you did, whether you were going to trip, whether you were going to fall, or what you were going to do when it came to cannabis. And when it comes to cannabis, I consider myself an authority. That's not a pat on my back. That's a lot of hard work. That's a lot of education, and it's a lot of learning about a plant that saved my life. You could have really, really, really benefited from having a conversation with me and others like me. But what do? You take my letter and you push it off to the health department. They send me a letter from 2 years ago they set out in a blanket. So whatever, that's it. But that's not why I'm mad. All that, and that's not why I'm mad. I am mad because the simple reason that Andrew Cuomo is now saying that there's not going to be a legalization program in our near future. That was supposed to be something taken care of in 100 days in office. It was mentioned I don't know how many times. It was mentioned over and over by him. He jumped on the bandwagon when Larry Sharpe, the Libertarian, was the one that said, let's decriminalize. Let's not make this plant illegal for people to use. Let's treat it like onions and tomatoes because it's a plant. Andrew Cuomo has decided that if you grow cannabis, you are breaking the law by using by implementing tax evasion. You're ripping the state off for growing your own damn food, your own medicine, and your own tree in your backyard, whatever the hell it is. I grow tomatoes, I grow cucumbers, I grow peppers, I grow every vegetable there is under the sun. Have I been taking the chance of having the opportunity to be thrown in jail? Have I, for 54 years minus 16, whatever that is, 30-some years, I've been filling out taxes. But guess what? I've grown vegetables my whole life. My whole life I'm breaking the law. And nobody told me. I like to be law-abiding. I like to be good law-abiding, though. Cannabis has never killed anyone. Never. In any form. Done in grassroots in the woods. This has never killed anyone. Mexicans pressing it, poisoning it, coming back, us ingesting it. We've still never died. You can't die from this plant. You can help a lot of people, and you know it. Yet you keep us handcuffed more than one way. Handcuffed where we can't use the plant, and handcuffed where you're throwing my brothers and sisters in a f***ing cell for a plant that has never killed anyone. There's no crime, for Christ's sake. There's no victim in it because there's no crime because there is no victim. The only victims you're creating are the little kids and wife that are sitting home, or husband, whatever the case may be, while their spouse sits in prison rotting for growing a plant. For growing a plant. I don't care what the plant is. If you claim to be a Christian, if you claim to be Islamic, if you claim to be a part of this earth and have a religion, you believe there's an entity that put all this stuff here. And he's perfect. God is perfect. But he made a mistake, I guess. So he ain't perfect. Just like you, Cuomo. You're far from perfect. You're far from even being shitty. I've seen a meme today that said, "Hi, I'm Andrew Cuomo, and I'm an asshole." Well, I felt bad for the people that are assholes, putting that idiot in the same boat with them. I don't want that man's company for anything. Why? Ask me. He screws you every day. He takes from you every day. Gave himself a raise. He got money for nothing else. He's building bridges and putting his daddy's name on it. He's doing everything he can do to make himself this thing that everybody will remember in New York. Well, hey, listen, we remember Nixon too, and he was an idiot. We don't remember him because he was great and we're jumping up and down. Why don't you put up or shut up when it comes to caring about your people? Why don't you do what Larry Sharpe says? I'm not asking you to become a libertarian. I'm asking you to become human.
I could go on about this idiot and about this cause all day long. I truly can. But that's why I'm pissed off.